All right, kids. Chicken pot pie. Welcome to Smoke Shop. Wow. I'm gonna just do a relatively short video today, which is just unboxing some of the initial components for the solar power system for the Sprinter van. Basically, I'm not getting anything set up yet because I still have components I need to buy. All I'm trying to do now is figure out what my connections are so that I know exactly what to order to make all of the connections that I need to make. And I figured in doing so, I would show you a couple of the components. First thing we have that I've already actually shown in a live, I believe, is a Schumacher 40 amp, 12 volt DC to DC intelligent battery charger. This is also a MPPT solar controller. This unit was $65, and I will have a link again in the description below. Got a manual, which I'm going to take upstairs and check out. We have the unit itself, which has wires fed through it. Okay, so that's what this is exactly what I was wondering. What we have here is a pigtail. And the pigtail, of course, the wires are going to be identified in the manual. But the reason I needed to know this is I need to connect these wires to other wires. And I wasn't sure if there were going to be lugs on here or if I was going to need to do like a junction block or something like that, which it looks like is what's going to happen. Now that I look, it comes with uninsulated crimps and heat shrink tubing to make those connections. This unit is fairly heavy. I don't have an exact weight on it off the top of my head, but it's definitely not a empty plastic box with a control, a computer circuit board in it. This is a good solid unit. The reason I went with this is A, price, B, Schumacher has been charging batteries for as long as batteries have existed. So I couldn't rationalize spending well over $100 for a almost comparable unit that was a different color. At the price, I couldn't pass up at least trying this. If this works, I should be able to set up my stage 1 system utilizing this for both alternator charging and solar controlling. For my next trick, the amazing Schmoke is going to unbox our 3000 watt VoltWorks power inverter. I got it on sale for $183. I have been doing research. If you haven't gathered yet from watching the channel, I research everything before I buy it. I want something that's going to be a solid piece of equipment, preferably with good reviews, etc., etc. But I am not afraid to buy from Amazon, Chinese components, Chinese unit, because everything that you're getting nowadays is Chinese anyway. And I can get it a lot cheaper if nobody puts a fancy sticker on it and paints it a different color. Anyway, this thing's got an 18-month warranty on it. One of the biggest concerns about electronics and stuff like that, and in my experience and from my research, is usually a crappy item is going to be super lightweight and it's not going to feel solid at all. This unit right here, when I went to pick it up off the porch, almost threw my back out. This thing weighs 20 pounds. I think we're going to flip it. We're going to flip this box back over. So basically what we have so far is a box within a box. Nice snug fitting. I say that half joking because we could just have a Russian nesting doll here with a brick in the middle. In reality, that double packaging gives it some extra padding, which is good for shipping a heavy electronic unit. Note, the remote control is in the foam. The remote control is in the foam. Remember, the remote control is in the foam. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you have not yet. Hello, please subscribe. Goodbye. And now back to the show. Okay, so what we have here is 4 30 amp fuses. This unit, one of the complaints is people have popped fuses, and the fuses are internal. However, it is quite clear that it has fuses, and I'm sure in the manual it explains that to you. But that was one of the complaints people had. Anyhow, we have shockproof pad installation instructions, so theoretically it comes with some shockproof pads, and of course a manual. What do we got here? We've got the extension cable, which is just a phone cable. People were saying it's hard to get these cables. It probably is because nobody has landlines anymore, but I'm quite positive I have boxes full of phone cables. Now, one of the things I was warned about is that these cables are usually too thin. These feel pretty heavy, but I will go with a 0 gauge probably wire. These do look pure copper. You know, they talk about it's copper clad aluminum, but looking at the ends, that looks pure copper to me. We'll research it more. Probably a ground cable there. Let's see if we can pull this thing out. And we're gonna flip it again. And don't forget, kids, the remote control is in the foam. Not that foam. And not that foam. This foam. It's right there. All right, so this thing is solid. Very heavy, well-made unit right off the bat. The remote control. Bring. It's not digital, it's not super fancy or any of that. However, there is a digital display on the unit itself. So let's get this plastic out of here. Yeah, this thing's nice as far as I'm concerned. Now then, I'm not going to bring up any brand names right off the bat, but this thing is solid. There's another unit that has been reviewed by some big name YouTubers that is pretty much identical to this, and I'm pretty sure is a different label on the same unit. With that being said, we've got our hardwire capabilities. We've got a ground lug, we've got 4 outlets, 2 USBs, the connection for our remote, our data display screen, and on the other side we've got a nice big fan, and I don't know if you can see it, but 2 big fat lug connectors with covers, which I don't think a lot of them come with. Man, this thing is heavy. Like, it's compressing my spine right now. I need to quit holding it up in the air. 12 volt DC up to 300 amps. Output 110, 60 hertz. Excuse me, 27.3 amps, 3000 watts. USB output 5 volts, 2.4 amps, 2 of them. I did read somewhere that this has the surge of, around 6,000, like most of them do. And that doesn't mean it's going to handle 6,000 watts. That means when you crank up a unit and it pegs it for just 1/10 of a second, it can handle that. Anywho, with that being said, I'm just leaving everything in the bags right now because we're not breaking it all out yet. But that's what it comes with. So far, I'm impressed with it. Let's get it into the Sprinter and just kind of get an idea of our footprint just to get the ball rolling for design. I do have a battery on the way, and I do know the dimensions of the battery from the ad. So having these in hand, knowing the dimensions of the battery, I should be able to get a basic idea of what I want to do in the van. So let's at least take a quick look at that, and then we'll probably wrap it up. So one other thing I wanted to show y'all is I put the motion detector lights on a switch. I think I'd mentioned the idea of doing that. That way I still can utilize them, but they're not always coming on. Like if I was trying to sleep, every time you would move, they would come on. So I wanted to be able to deactivate that. Oh, hey guys. Haha, what a surprise to see you here. Not really, but it was fun to do that. Roar! So my plan is here on this wall is likely going to be our power system. Coincidentally, once again, pretty much just like how Shaggy Mane has his. You know, great minds think alike, I guess. I rarely see designs with this layout. Usually people put the bed in the back. I would like to use the back as cargo. Then again, I'm not living in this van. I have no plans of living in this van. I'm just traveling and going to be using it basically as a hotel room so that I don't have to pay for hotel rooms. Now then, what I need to figure out with this is the best way to position it, because depending on how the fan blows, anyway, depending on how the fan blows, you want the hot air escaping. You don't want the hot air being blown over all of the components. Heat rises. So if the fan is blowing in that direction, I would want the outlet going in that direction if I do it vertically. If I do it horizontally, I don't think it's going to matter. Either way, I need to be able to see this screen, since unfortunately there is not a remote digital screen. I'm not worried about it, but I'd still like to be able to get the information that's on that screen when I need it. But my concept is that even with a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, if I mount this here, then I am still within the constraints of the wheel well, which is in my way as far as cargo. That's the first thing that's in my way as far as cargo is concerned. Since this is already here restricting me and there's nothing I can do about it, if I can stay within that footprint, then I will be satisfied that I'm not affecting my cargo space. I think you follow what I'm saying. So I think that's going to be my plan. The other thing that I have contemplated doing is putting one of these folding shelves back in here on this side, because it would fold up, and then if I did want to utilize it, I could fold it down. So that may still be a possibility, because I originally intended to pull all of this frame stuff out. Anyhow, that's the basic concept of where I'm at. Depending on the depth of the battery, I should be able to get everything in this area between these two, which would still allow me to be able to utilize the shelf, because the shelf height is here. So as long as I can get my platform, and you know, that's plenty of space that way, height, and as long as I'm not coming out beyond this wheel well, that's what's going to happen, is we're basically going to have our power station right here. I'm not going to do that in this video because basically it's Wednesday morning. I just did this unboxing, like I said, to assess what exactly I'm working with so I can order some more components, because I do not have everything I need yet. The plan is, for now, once I get the battery, we'll have the battery, the DC to DC charger, the inverter, and get all that connected, and then I can charge off of the van when the van is running. And that will give me a basic electrical system. To complete stage 1, I need to install the roof racks or the roof rails, build a roof rack, order my solar panels, and install them. Basically, my plan is to build an expandable system where the current setup will be this inverter, that solar controller, and DC to DC charger, and more than likely 400 watts of solar and a 200 amp hour battery for starters. If that battery works out, then I'm going to add a second one and another 400 watts of solar. So end game is 800 watts of solar and 400 amp hours of battery. So that's a basic idea of what my plan is. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this, because it's starting to get hot out here and I need to edit this out to get it out to you today. So hopefully I'll catch you in the chat. As always, thanks each and every one of you for watching. Bye-bye.